I believed that staying in the European Union was the best thing for us. And then something happened, and something monumental happened. It completely changed my opinion on the whole situation.
What was that monumental thing, Mark?
I was kicked in the head by a horse.
Thank you for listening to Talking to Our Souls, or to put it another way, to Talking Our Souls. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only and may deal with adult topics and adult themes.
Brownstown, we're with you when you fight. Brownstown, bark with the dogs tonight. Brownstown, Cleveland is right behind you.
Ba-bum. Tish. Hello, it's me, Steve Henn, on this, the 3rd day of July. Where has the year gone, 2023? It's lovely to see you all. We hope the weather is good in your area, and thunderstorms and all that, you know. And over there we have...
You can bank on it, but not if your name is Nigel Farage, Mr. Singh.
Now, I have to say, though, I thought that was the worst introduction I've ever done. I wasn't even really prepared. I just said, I don't know, just nonsense. I said nonsense. But I'm really quite happy to talk about your mate. No, I can only go right. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, he's a criminal, a war criminal, and he's been a bastard to the United Kingdom, and every bank in the country has said no to Nigel. Is that right?
Well, his bank, apparently he's been banking with for like 40 years, have decided that what he said was, for commercial reasons, we're closing your account. Get your money out. We're closing your account. Get your money out. We're closing your account. Get your money out. And he started looking at other banks, and he's getting turned down from other banks, apparently. That's what he said.
That's what he
Don't
said.
know. That's what he said. And then because he put it into the media, I think the bank rang him and said, well, we can give you a personal account, that you could basic personal account, but you can't have a business. He had a business account. And now I'm not sure what to do with my life. I feel like a refugee. I need to claim asylum in another country. He didn't say that, but he kind of
But did he say that? Did he say he's not welcome? He feels he's not welcome here, and he might have to consider moving away. Is that something like that?
Yeah, something like across those lines, isn't it? God.
See, I feel, because I don't believe a word he says, right? But I feel that he's saying this now because he was planning to move away because this country is not benefiting his lifestyle. Like, we put so much economic sanctions on ourselves. So he thought, well, I'll tell you what, I'll say the banks kick me out. I say, I don't know who I'm trying to be. And and then when I move to Germany, I'll look as though I've been kicked out. That was my initial theory.
I was thinking to myself, musing if he's on a dinghy going the other way, saying, it's no good over there, my friend. Shit, you want to go back that way? Obviously, I'm going that way. You want to go, but yeah, go that way, keep going that way. I don't want you where I'm going.
Is this the Yorkshire, Nigel Farage?
Was he going Yorkshire?
But he's got loads of videos of him going out in the Channel on big boats, isn't he? Well, bigger boats than the little boats. So he would fit right in. I tweeted him.
What did you say to him?
I said, Nigel, you said 7 banks. 7 banks have refused you. Have you tried the other 350? Starling I use, and they're very good, and they've got a very good app interface. So, because there's 357 financial institutions in this country. So when he said he's tried 7, I don't think he's tried them all.
I thought if he moved, he'd probably go to America, wouldn't he?
He'd make more money there. Anyway, I'm sorry. I've just got the the Coutts. The Coutts is the posh people's bank. It's where the Queen used to bank, and now our King banks there. But very posh people bank at Coutts.
I wonder if that was it. I wonder if that did it. You know, the fact that King Charles. Coutts sounds very much like a racial slur.
Coutts
Yeah.
sounds like what?
Coo.
Woohoo!
I don't want to say it.
Perhaps best not to. Perhaps best
Yeah.
not to. No, but Coutts, posh people's bank. But I've got their terms and conditions here. I think Nigel might have overstepped the mark. We have updated the instances in which we can close or convert an account to include if we suspect an account is being used to abusively avoid tax, a client's actions include racist or discriminatory conduct, or if we are exposed to action or censure by any government regulator or law enforcement agency. So it could be that the Russian money he got allegedly comes under those sanctions, or I'll stick him in neck out here, he's a bit of a racist. But that wouldn't mean why.
Get your facts straight, yeah. A little of a racist. You cannot say that.
A smidge.
No. He's very racist. Get your facts straight.
I think
Allegedly.
No, that's proven. So it could be that. That's why Coutts kicked him out, because of his racism. But could be the sanctions. But then it doesn't mean why the other 6 banks he's applied for.
He's denying that he took any Russian money. He says proven. I didn't take any Russian money.
He might not have taken any Russian money. The Russian money might have been given to somebody else, who gave it to somebody else, who then gave it to Nigel Farage.
Because he did say some of my family members have lost their bank accounts. Like, it could have been, shuffling it around a little bit.
Oh, he probably is. I don't think he's as straight as he likes to believe he is. He's a man who will tell you that he loves black people if you pay him 70 quid to do a 30-second video.
Happy birthday, Hugh Janus. I've heard you're a massive fan of Shez Wheely and her battle against Cal the Dragon. How could I help to make sure Shez Wheely wins the war against Cal and his garden gnome army?
I was actually toying of sending him the money before it went up and asking him to do your birthday video. I was toying of it. I want you to say that Av Singh's my favourite comedian, and I never turn right. Oh, turn left, Duffy.
I'm glad you didn't because I'm finding it hard enough it is to get gigs. I don't need into. Hello, Av Singh. See, I haven't deported you yet. Nudge, wink, wink. I'm on my way out. Good luck in this shithole. And you ain't gonna believe this, Steve. He actually won an award. Being best presenter.
Yeah. Now, do you know who sponsored that event?
No.
GB News.
What?
GB News.
You sure?
GB News was one of the sponsors of that event. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that.
I thought the public voted on it.
Yeah, the public voted for our Nige. I think they were all public votes for the awards.
What does that say about country, Steve?
Which country?
This country?
What? It's all a scam.
Was that closet GB TV views, isn't it? I'm one of them.
No, I think there's about 75,000 viewers, about 50,000 on average. That's not many.
How much is that compared to but that's the Trick Award. There you go.
The Trick Award, that's right. No, the Trick Awards were sponsored by GB News, and most of the people nominated for Best News Presenter were from GB News. Coincidence? I do think the awards were fixed in the fact that GB News sponsored them. You can't tell me that Nigel Farage is a better news presenter than Susanna Reid.
We can argue about the numbers of the millions of people around the world who would like to come in the United Kingdom.
It's not an argument. Only 26 million have even left their own country. And 45,000 were in boats coming over to the UK.
Yes,
so
and
yes,
that is
what we're
a very
dealing with
high
here
number.
is tens of thousands, isn't it?
What we're dealing with is an unsustainably high number
it's in
on
the tens
any
of
count.
Thousands. But it is a fact that we are dealing with tens of thousands, and you have used the word billions. And I think that people want you to explain the justification for the use of the word billions when it is a fact that there's only tens of thousands have made their way here on the boats?
I'll tell you what the real world impact on your viewers is.
I have issues with the BBC as well, to be honest with you, Steve. BBC, it talks about diversity, but you talk about all the senior roles are all white, majority men, I believe. So
but not all of them are racist, though.
Yeah, I don't know. But,
I think only 3 of the 5 are.
It's a contradiction, the BBC, to me. Well, any channel, they gets rid, right, of Jeremy Clarkson. Yeah, Jeremy Clarkson. You can't go wrong with Jeremy, and they got rid of him. And what do you think of Jeremy Clarkson?
He's a cunt. No, seriously, I cannot abide the man. I cannot abide. You know when they moved to Amazon with their whatever it was, their Grand Canary, whatever it was called. Yeah, I would watch a show on Amazon, and then they'd give a 30-second preview of Jeremy Clark, whatever I wanted to watch. So I wrote them an email. I said, why? When I go and watch a thing, you put Jeremy Clarkson on my telly. I don't like it. I don't like him. I don't want him on my... Is there any way you can get rid of him so I don't see his horrible face, right? And do you know what they said?
What?
No.
They've paid him a lot of money to be on that show. And you know something, Steve? You know, his new show, it's actually pretty good.
The Farm one?
Yeah. It is very good.
Somebody I quite rate as a human being, and I don't know if it's somebody on Twitter or somebody on the telly, said the same thing. Said, I know I shouldn't, and I can't, but it's a really good show.
It is. I was surprised myself. I didn't watch it. And I think they had 2 seasons out. I think it's been out for a while. And it's funny. It is funny, him not knowing shit about farming. And the actual characters are in there. Especially this one guy, Steve, who speaks gibberish, and he's hilarious, his interaction. Like a proper yokel kind of thing.
What country is gibberish from? I'm up there in the big field.
Exactly like that. It's Jamie Clarkson's reaction to it, which is hilarious as well. It's all the interactions he has as well that really make the show. It's a surprise hit.
Well, yeah, I get that, but as much as I love Adolf Hitler, I don't think I could watch him in a musical. As much as I hate Jeremy Clarkson, I don't think I could watch him in a really good comedy. I feel unclean.
He's like Basil Fawlty, isn't he? He's like a Basil Fawlty character.
Yeah, but there's the thing. Basil Fawlty was a character, whereas Jeremy Clarkson goes around hitting people and is a horrible human being, in my opinion. So I'd find it difficult to watch, but I know you're the second person to say it's really good, so I'm going to say that it probably is, but I don't think I could bring myself to watch it. When I was younger, I used to do a porter's job, and I used to do nights, and at nights you had to take people for emergency operations, right? So you'd have to gown up and everything. You'd have to take the go and get the patient, then gown up, and then leave them in the waiting room in the operating theatre, and then take them into the operating theatre. And sometimes the surgeons would look at you and say, do you want to stay and watch? And do you know what I said every time?
What?
No, thank you. I can't stand the sight of blood. I would have probably just gone flop. And I feel that's the same feeling I'd get if I tried to watch Jeremy Clarkson's Farm. No, thank you. And I know I'm probably cutting my nose off to spite my face, and it's a lovely nose, and it's a beautiful face. We've done Nigel Farage's Coutts. We've done his awards. We went nicely into Jeremy Clarkson. We went nicely into Jeremy Clarkson.
There's one way of putting it, isn't it?
Well, there's only one way of putting it, apparently. But we nearly talked about that's the BBC. My opinion on the BBC. I think they're damned if they do, damned if they don't, because they have to show different opinions. They have to say like a balanced opinion. So if someone comes on and says, I hate black people, you have to have somebody come on the other side and say, I love black people. Or I hate trans people, I love trans people. But the people they bring on, some of them aren't really clever or experts. They're just like bringing in the contrary opinion. And I think that's the trouble with the BBC. They can't make their mind up. So they're trying to be balanced, but balance sometimes doesn't work.
I don't know. Maybe it's a generational thing. I used to enjoy some stuff on the BBC. Nowadays, I don't really watch that much of it. There's nothing on there that really appeals to me.
100%, 100%. But then that's the same with most British TV.
That's me. I watch like Jules Holland. I watch a bit of some of the music stuff. Match of the Day. I can't think of any good comedies on the BBC at the moment either.
Mrs. Brown's Boys, how dare you?
That's racist, Steve. Talking about an Indian family like that.
I actually thought you meant Mrs. Brown's Boys was racist, but no, I realised that I've just said Mrs. Brown's Boys, which is racist now because you've made the assumption that I'm talking about colour rather than the name of the man who plays the woman, Mrs. Brown.
You said it in like an Indian accent as well. I liking the Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Did I say it like that?
No.
I like the Mrs. Brown's Boys.
In Spanish.
No, I didn't really want. I wanted to make it sound like an accent, but I didn't want to sound it too close.
Yeah, you must.
Just in case. No, but that's rubbish. Is that rubbish? My accent.
Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Oh, now you're being racist. There's a great new show on the BBC about a princess who goes to Australia. Absolute, it's a beautiful, beautiful show. Stars that wonderful red-haired lady.
I tried to watch it, Steve. I tried to watch it.
How much did you watch?
About a minute.
I actually watched more than a minute because I thought, surely it can't be this bad. Surely that's just them trying to be outrageous. And then it actually went downhill.
I was
weird.
What
And
am
I
I
like
doing?
Catherine Tate, but I can't be doing with that at all. At all.
Oh, talking of TV shows, there's one coming back.
Can I just stop you? We weren't talking about a TV show. We were talking about Catherine Tate. I feel we should have actually just mentioned when we were talking about the BBC that on Question Time the other night, and they were talking about the Rwanda policy because that seems to have exploded everywhere. She asked the audience if anyone actually agreed with the government's policy on Rwanda, and no one agreed with it. No, you weren't there. You weren't there. She started off saying most of this audience voted Conservative in the last general election, and I just want to ask how many of you actually agree with the Rwanda policy? And nobody said anything.
I think they were a bit scared to be shown on TV. I'm sure there's a few that. I'm sure there's a few.
Yeah, no, like you did.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a good policy if you want to lose your next election.
They're only playing to a certain demographic. They're only playing to their core voters on that. Do you know Andrew Marr?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's on LBC, and he has a programme Mondays to Thursdays between 6 and 7. And he's been really poorly. I didn't realise how poorly he was until he admitted it. He died, I think, almost, with a heart attack.
Stroke.
Think. Two old ladies walking down a beach, and a young man runs past naked. One old lady had a stroke, and the other couldn't quite reach. He interviewed. They fought the law, and the law won. Right. The thing is, if you're going to break the law, don't take it towards the judges. But he had a member of the opposition party in Rwanda, and Andrew Marr said, now, would it be safe for refugees to travel from England to Rwanda? They said, no, it's not safe here. Now, I'm not saying they know more than us. I'm not saying they know more than Suella Braverman. They could be doing it because the party in power think it's a good idea.
My understanding is that the fear is that if they send them over there, they're concerned that the Rwanda government might send them back to the country of origin.
Wow.
Yeah, if the country requested, I think that's what I think that's what it is. If that was a loophole, then surely put some guarantees in place.
But they shouldn't be going there in the first place, though, should they?
Well,
it's our responsibility. As soon as they put foot on this soil, they're our responsibility. That's what the law is.
My understanding is, and the government won't say it, is that they're not expecting to send that many people. It's supposed to be the kind of fear factor. If you go over there, you might end up in Rwanda. They're just dangling it. I think they want to put in place to scare people off.
No, I get that. I get that's what they're trying to do on a lot of things, but that's all bollocks because how many people watch the news before they come over here, watch the UK news? Also, I was thinking this, if Rishi Sunak announced a world tour of the Beatles getting back together as part of his policy, no one would know about it. Because they don't publicise. They just say stuff and then move on. And I think this thing, it was like, well, it's going to put fear in the people coming across the channel. They're not listening to the World Service. They're not watching the BBC. I mean, if they haven't got a passport, they haven't got a television with them. Do you know what I'm saying? I guess it gets me like, I think it's not a deterrent. Here's another deterrent. Breast milk. All the breast milk in the shops these days, not real breast milk, like powdered milk for newborns, it's got security tags on, right? You know you can't nick that because it's got security tags on. But if you've got no money and you've got a screaming child, what are you going to do? Just because it's got a security tag on, it's not going to stop you. It's the same with the boats.
What? Put a security tag on them?
That's what they should. They should tag them before they leave France. We've sorted it, Av.
I don't know what the deterrent is. Come in here, right, and say, here's your gas bill, here's your electricity bill, here's your water bill, here's your council tax. I'll be like, what? I'm going back.
So, join us again next week when we talk exclusively from our souls.
Cleveland is right behind you.
Hey, thanks for listening to the show. We hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe and share this because it will help us. And don't forget to tune in next week, 8 p.m. Mondays. Ta-ra!